What's up everyone, it's Endymion, and recently there's been a rather blasphemous apology video that has the internet in a confused frenzy. So while I want to speak about this controversy, I want to also use this time to delve into other stories about how people in positions of power are using concepts like virtue signaling and woke ideology to manipulate and hurt children. This video is going to be darker than usual, but I'll try my best to word everything. And in terms of footage for this video, I'll just use generic gameplay in the background unless you want to just stare at a still image for like 10 minutes. Yeah, I wouldn't want to either, so let's begin. The controversy in question is against a YouTuber named Colleen Ballinger, who's known professionally as Miranda Sings. To be honest with you guys, I didn't know who this person was until a few days ago, but that's cause I grew up on stuff like Psychic Pebbles and Red Letter Media, so clearly, I'm not the targeted demographic here. Speaking of demographics, Colleen is being accused of grooming underage fans and using her celebrity to exploit these young people. This all started when another YouTuber named Adam McIntyre came out and exposed Colleen for grooming and exploiting them into running her social media accounts without paying them and then using bullying tactics in order to silence them. Included in these allegations, Colleen asked for photos of young female fans to show their butts. She also asked for female fans to describe their first period to her and asking these young people in group chats to describe how they lost their virginity. Mind you, this all happened years ago and the victims in question were around 15 years old at the time, which might have you saying, well, how old was Colleen exactly? Well, she was 30 years old, so she was my age when this happened, which weirds me out even more. According to the primary accuser Adam, Colleen even managed to get Adam to visit Dublin to meet her, and Colleen became mad when she realized Adam's parents had accompanied them, which is, yeah, that's a red flag, alright? Some texts from these group chats were leaked as well, and yeah, it doesn't look good. Anyway, after all of this happened, Colleen responded to her grooming allegations by singing with a ukulele.
Hey, it's been a while since you saw my face. I haven't been doing so great, so I took a little break. A lot of people are saying some things about me that aren't quite true. All aboard the toxic gossip train. You're chugging down the tracks of misinformation. The toxic gossip train. You got a one-way ticket to manipulation station. Toxic gossip train. Tie me to the tracks and harass me for my past. These rumors look like facts. If you don't mind the gaps, I won't survive in the crash, but hey.
I honestly tried to watch the whole thing, but the cringe of secondhand embarrassment was so lethal I just couldn't. But long story short, she doesn't deny that she's a groomer and instead tries to play off her abuse by being quirky, which you can imagine went about as badly as you think for her, since the entire internet has assembled like the goddamn Avengers to battle Colleen's Thanos-level threat of cringe. As of right now, she's lost around 30,000 subscribers due to this outrage, which I doubt won't stop anytime soon. There was also loads of allegations thrown out against Colleen, with even videos and pictures exposing her. One of these was by a Twitter user who posted a photo of themselves with Colleen on stage during an event, in which Colleen ordered the young girl to lay on her back and then forced her legs open while staring under her dress. Mind you, this was all in front of a live audience too. This bit is apparently called the Yoga Challenge, which is where Colleen forcefully manipulates a young fan's body to see how far they can stretch. Yeah, that doesn't sound good. Colleen then embarrassed the young girl further by pretending she farted on stage, threw her legs down, and acted disgusted, which traumatized the young girl. This wouldn't be the first time either, since Colleen also addressed grooming allegations back in 2020, where she was attacked for sending lingerie to a young Adam McIntyre and asked them to wear it for her. Colleen said in defense of that, quote, "In hindsight, I see how completely stupid of me it was. I should never have sent that. It was never a sneaky, creepy, gross thing I was doing in secret. It was a silly, stupid mistake. No, I should have never sent a fan underwear. How stupid am I? No, I definitely should have never given him access to my Twitter account. And no, I shouldn't have talked to him as often as I did, but I am not a monster, and I am not a groomer." End quote. And now, 3 years later, we're here as she's yet again accused of grooming and being a predator, so that didn't age very well. Unfortunately, this tired tale of powerful individuals using their influence to groom and manipulate kids is sadly pretty commonplace these days. Recently, I talked about the Call of Duty boycott and how Nick Merckx' game bundle got cancelled by Activision, all because he asked woke groups to leave children alone. And to be real with you, it frustrates me even more whenever these woke-obsessed individuals find new depths to sink to when it comes to their lust of depravity. From people like Colleen and the Call of Duty boycott, it all stems from the same core issue, which is that these powerful people, oftentimes government-protected groups, have become emboldened by the shield that is virtue signaling.
Tie me to the tracks and harass me for my past, 'cause rumors look like facts. If you don't mind the gaps, I won't survive in the crash, but hey, at least you're having fun.
And because of this, they feel comfortable enough to openly engage with children. When you really think about it, the majority of issues when it comes to the public lashing out against woke ideology is almost always because of children. If these groups simply left kids alone, the amount of hate and controversy against them would likely be a tenth of the level of outrage. But it's because of people like Colleen and institutions like schools pushing for gender ideology that we're here in the first place. It doesn't help when stories like the dean of a school exposing children to things like butt plugs. I wish I was kidding. Back in December 2022, Joseph Bruno was secretly exposed by Project Veritas for exposing children. According to this video, which I can't show on YouTube, Bruno and his staff bragged about letting students play with various toys while giving tips on how to have, as they put it, queer sex as well, and the difference between using lube versus spit, which is, yeah. Joseph Bruno was also recorded saying, "That's a really cool part of my job, I don't have to worry about stuff like that." And then he bragged about how he had so much freedom and so much money to do stuff. And even when this was exposed, the school board defended him and Bruno remains dean of that school to this day. And then of course in my previous video I showed a clip of LGBT activists chanting something, so watch. The context behind this was a Pride event in New York City, and when this clip sparked outrage, the organizers behind the event said it was to poke fun at anti-LGBTQ people. According to Brian Griffin, not to be mistaken with that Brian Griffin, this person, who's the chief organizer behind the drag event in NYC, says this chant is used to destigmatize the phrase, and that they chant these sorts of phrases to take back those slurs, as they put it, and de-weaponize them. But clearly, it's done the exact opposite of that. These allegations aren't helped when stories break like this one back in January 2023, where a gay couple was arrested for grooming their adoptive children. Zachary Zulick and his husband, William Zulick Jr., were also somehow bringing in around $8,000 a week into their bank accounts, without any trace of where or how this money came to be. And it turns out not only did this couple abuse their adoptive son sexually, but they let others do it for profit. And they used the money they got from the various videos they sold, or men who did acts to their kids, in order to build their dream home. Some of these men who bought the young boys multiple times were identified as Hunter Lawless and Luis Sanchez. And once police traced a data cache to Hunter, they discovered a massive hoard of, well, you know what. And this led to Hunter's arrest, which exposed the couple, and thankfully all of these psychos are in jail now. And the children of these acts are currently in the state's care. While I'm not saying everyone who's a P-word is a part of the LGBT crowd, it is very concerning that there are people out there in ordinary life using their power and positions in order to abuse the powerless. Colleen is of course the focus of this video, but I really do think it's important to use this heightened sense of awareness due to that controversy to inform anyone who's watching this of the many other examples of depravity out there. Not to mention, where I live in Alberta, Canada, recently 8 men were arrested along with a total of 150 offenders for a massive seizure of sickos across Canada. Over 2 million images were seized, and the offenders were all caught via a massive secret op called Operation Snapshot 3. with over 40 police agencies across Canada working together to catch these people. And it's because of people like Colleen and the many examples I've given today is why I'm so defensive when it comes to protecting children against woke ideology. When people like Nick Merckx and Dr. Disrespect stand up against these ideologies, it speaks volumes when a company like Activision deliberately removes Nick's bundle because he dared speak out against it. But what Nick Merckx said is absolutely right. Everyone just needs to leave the kids alone. I don't care if they're a part of the LGBT, the Catholic Church, or people in power like Colleen with her stupid ukulele. It saddens me to no end knowing these people really think it's okay to abuse kids because of their lack of power.
Hi everyone. I've been wanting to come online and talk to you about a few things. Even though my team has strongly advised me to not say what I want to say, I recently realized that they never said that I couldn't sing what I want to say. So here I am, and today I only want to talk about the facts. So many years ago, I used to message my fans, but not in a creepy way like a lot of you are trying to suggest. It was more of a loser kind of way, where I was just trying to be besties with everybody. It's kind of like when you go to like a family gathering, and there's a weird aunt there, keeps coming up to you and going like, "Hey girl, what's the tea?" And you're like, "Ugh." That was me, but in group chats with my fans. It was weird. I've been sharing my life online for over 15 years. I've poured my heart out to you, and because of that I feel like I'm talking to my friends, but in the beginning of my career, I didn't really understand that maybe there should be some boundaries there. There were times in the DMs when I would overshare details of my life, which was really weird of me. I haven't done that for years, you see, because I changed my behavior and I took accountability.
Nothing Colleen did was okay, especially knowing she was 30 years old talking to people half her age and asking them to talk about them losing their virginity. There's no excuse or defense for a 30-year-old to be talking to kids in private group chats. I don't care how you try to mental gymnastic your way around that statement, I refuse to agree. Nick Merckx and Dr. Disrespect at least are willing to sacrifice money and future deals if it means standing up for the children. And it sickens me that it's almost always the people who have young fans who do these kinds of things. The fact a pair of fathers are attacked by woke freaks for standing up for kids kind of proves the point that the end game of this nonsense has and always will be about children. It's why schools have become indoctrination camps in the span of a few years. Because it's obviously the easiest to push ideas on kids when their parents aren't around, which is literally groomer behavior. Colleen, along with all the other sickos in this video, can all be buried underneath a prison and I wouldn't lose a second of sleep over it. I applaud Adam McIntyre for exposing her, and I'm thankful the police agencies in Canada found those offenders. And I sleep better knowing those two adopted kids are no longer being abused by those insane weirdos. I apologize that this video was dark, and I hope you understand that while I honestly dislike talking about stuff like child abuse, it needs to be exposed. Because if responsible adults won't step up on behalf of children, then there's nothing sitting between them and the ones who want to use them. I hope Colleen apologizes and never returns. Because there's nothing a now 36-year-old woman can defend against when the allegations are so obviously proving the controversy right. Anyway, I don't really have any elegant way to end this video. So I just want to say thank you for watching, subscribe for more in the future, and like the video to help the channel, because a video like this will likely not be to YouTube's cup of tea. Be good to one another, and I'll see you in the next one.
Facts, if you don't mind the gaps, I won't survive in the crash, but hey.